Gemini, the one thing that will calm your mind this week. There is one single shift waiting for you this week that has the power to quiet every anxious thought racing through your mind right now. And by the end of this message, you will know exactly what it is and how to use it. If you clicked on this, it is because something inside you already knows that your mind has been running too fast. You have been thinking too much, overthinking conversations, replaying moments that already passed, worrying about things that have not even happened yet. And the weight of all that mental noise is starting to show up in your body, in your sleep, in the way you interact with the people you love. You feel scattered. You feel like you are being pulled in 10 different directions and none of them feel quite right. Maybe you have been waking up in the middle of the night with your thoughts already spinning before your eyes are fully open. Maybe you have been snapping at people not because you are angry, but because your patience has been worn so thin by everything happening inside your head. This week is different though. This week, there is a specific kind of energy available to you that can bring everything back into alignment. But here is the thing. You have to know where to look for it. And you have to be willing to do something most people never do. You have to slow down long enough to actually receive it. Stay with me through every single tip in this message because the calm you have been searching for is closer than you think. Tip 1. Stop trying to figure everything out at once. This is the number one thing draining your energy right now, and I need you to hear this clearly. You have been trying to solve problems that do not belong to this moment. You have been sitting with questions that do not have answers yet, and instead of accepting that, you keep turning them over and over in your mind like somehow the repetition will produce clarity. It will not. What it produces is exhaustion. What it produces is that tight feeling in your chest that shows up when you have been carrying too much for too long. And here is what makes this particularly difficult for you as a Gemini. Your mind is one of the sharpest in the entire zodiac. You are wired to analyze. You are wired to process information at speeds that most people cannot even comprehend. That is a beautiful gift. But when that gift is turned inward without direction, it becomes a weapon against your own peace. Think about it this way. Imagine you had a powerful engine, one of the most powerful engines ever built, and instead of putting it in a vehicle and driving it somewhere meaningful, you just left it running in place. Revving and revving and revving. Eventually that engine is going to overheat. That is what your mind does when you try to solve everything at once. It overheats. And the symptoms of that overheating are anxiety, restlessness, irritability, and that deep bone-tired fatigue that sleep does not seem to fix. So here is what this week is asking you to do. Pick one thing. Just one. Not the biggest thing. Not the most urgent thing. Just one thing that you can actually move forward on today. Give that one thing your full attention. Let everything else sit. I know that feels uncomfortable. I know your instinct is to juggle all of it because you are afraid that if you set something down, it will fall apart. But the truth is, most of the things you are worried about right now will not fall apart if you stop watching them for a day or two. They will be exactly where you left them. And you will come back to them with a clearer mind, a calmer heart, and far more capacity to actually deal with them effectively. This is not about ignoring your problems. This is about respecting your own limits. Your mind is brilliant, but it is not infinite. It needs you to be selective about what you feed it this week. Choose wisely. Choose one thing. And watch how much lighter everything starts to feel. Tip 2. Let go of the conversation that keeps replaying in your head. You know exactly which one I am talking about. There is a conversation. Maybe it happened last week, maybe it happened months ago, maybe it happened years ago, that you keep going back to. You keep rewinding it. You keep editing your responses. You keep imagining what you should have said, what you could have said, what you wish you had the courage to say in that moment. And every time you replay it, you feel that same wave of frustration or sadness or regret wash over you, as if it is happening for the first time. But it is not happening for the first time. It already happened. And the version of you who was in that conversation did the best they could with what they had at the time. I need you to really let that land. You did the best you could. Maybe it was not perfect. Maybe you stumbled over your words. Maybe you stayed quiet when you wanted to speak up. Maybe you said something you did not mean because your emotions were running high and your mouth moved faster than your mind could catch up. All of that is human. All of that is normal. And none of it deserves the punishment of endless replay. Because that is what you are doing. You are punishing yourself by forcing yourself to relive a moment that cannot be changed. You are spending energy that belongs to your present on a past that is already sealed. And the cost of that is enormous. Every minute you spend in that old conversation is a minute stolen from the new ones waiting for you. Every bit of emotional energy you pour into rewriting a script that has already been performed is energy that could be going toward building something beautiful in your life right now. So here is what I want you to do this week. The next time that conversation starts playing in your head, and I want you to notice it. Do not fight it. Do not try to push it away because resistance only makes these things louder. Just notice it. Acknowledge it. Say to yourself, that happened and I am choosing to let it rest now. Then gently, firmly, redirect your attention to something in your present moment. The feel of the air on your skin, the sound of something happening around you, the taste of whatever you are eating or drinking. Bring yourself back to now. Do this every single time. It will feel strange at first. It might even feel impossible. But each time you redirect, you are building a new neural pathway. You are training your brain to release instead of grip. And over the course of this week, you will notice that the volume on that old conversation starts to turn down. It does not disappear overnight, but it gets quieter. And quieter is enough for now. If what you're hearing feels accurate, imagine what could happen if you applied this energy intentionally for 21 consecutive days. That's exactly what the 21-day program in the pinned comment is built for. Daily guidance, focused direction, and real momentum. If you're tired of staying in the same cycle, this is your structure. Tip 3. Give your body permission to rest without guilt. This is one of the hardest things for a Gemini to do because your mind tells you that resting is wasting time. Your mind tells you that if you are not doing something, thinking something, planning something, then you are falling behind. But falling behind what exactly? Behind some imaginary timeline that you created based on where you think you should be by now? Behind some standard that was never yours to begin with? I want you to really examine that belief this week because it is one of the biggest sources of your mental unrest. The idea that you always need to be productive is a lie. It is a lie that keeps you running on a treadmill that goes nowhere. And the exhaustion you feel is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign that your body has been trying to get your attention for a long time, and you have not been listening. Your body is wise. It knows things your mind has not figured out yet. And right now, your body is telling you that it needs a pause. Not a vacation, not a week off, just a pause. A few minutes here and there where you are not consuming information, not solving problems, not responding to anyone else's needs. Just sitting, just breathing, just being. I know that sounds simple to the point of being almost ridiculous, but when was the last time you actually did it? When was the last time you sat somewhere quiet, without your phone, without a screen, without a book, without music, and just let yourself exist in the silence? If you cannot remember, that tells you everything you need to know about why your mind feels so cluttered right now. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is space. And your mind desperately needs space this week. It needs room to process everything it has been holding. It needs room to sort through the emotions, the decisions, the worries, the hopes, the fears, all of it. And it cannot do that sorting when you keep piling more on top. So this week, I am asking you to build in moments of deliberate rest. Even 5 minutes, even 3. Set a timer if you need to. Sit down, close your eyes, and just breathe. Do not try to meditate. Do not try to clear your mind. Just breathe and let whatever comes up come up. Some of it will be uncomfortable. Some of it will surprise you. But all of it needs to move through you. And rest is the doorway that allows that movement to happen. And here is something else you may not have considered. When you rest, you are not just recharging your energy. You are also sending a message to yourself about your own worth. You are saying, I am valuable enough to take care of. I am important enough to pause for. And that message, repeated over days and weeks, rewrites something deep inside you. It rewrites the old story that says you only matter when you are useful. It replaces it with a truer story. One that says you matter simply because you exist. You deserve rest. Not because you earned it. Not because you finished everything on your list. But because you are a living being and rest is not a reward. It is a requirement. Treat it that way this week and watch how quickly your mind starts to settle. Tip 4. Stop absorbing other people's emotions as if they were your own. This is something that almost nobody talks about when it comes to Gemini energy, but it is one of the most significant sources of mental chaos in your life. You are naturally attuned to the people around you. You pick up on moods, on tensions, on unspoken words, on the energy behind someone's smile that tells you they are not really okay even though they say they are fine. That sensitivity is a gift. It makes you an incredible friend, an intuitive partner, a person that others trust with their deepest truths. But it also means that you are constantly carrying weight that does not belong to you. When someone you love is stressed, you feel their stress in your own body. When someone you care about is going through a difficult time, their sadness settles into your chest as if it were your own loss. And the problem is, you often do not even realize you are doing it. You just suddenly feel heavy and you cannot figure out why. You just suddenly feel anxious and there is no logical reason for it. You just suddenly feel drained even though your own life circumstances have not changed. That is because you have been absorbing. You have been taking in the emotional energy of everyone around you without any kind of filter, and your system is overloaded. This week, I want you to start practicing something very simple but very powerful. Before you walk into any room, before you pick up any phone call, before you open any message, I want you to take one breath and silently say to yourself, I can care without caring. That is it. That is the whole practice. I can care without caring. Because caring and caring are two very different things. Caring means you are present with someone in their experience. Caring means you are taking their experience and making it your own. Caring leaves you with enough energy to actually help. Caring depletes you to the point where you cannot even help yourself. You do not have to stop being sensitive. You do not have to build walls. You just have to learn the difference between holding space for someone and holding their weight on your shoulders. This week, practice that distinction every single day. Notice when you start to absorb. Notice when someone else's mood starts to shift your own. And gently remind yourself, this is not mine to carry. I can love them without losing myself in the process. That single awareness will do more for your mental calm than almost anything else I could tell you today. Tip 5. Accept that not every question needs an answer right now. Your mind is wired for curiosity. It wants to know. It wants to understand. It wants to peel back every layer of every situation until it reaches the core of the truth. And most of the time that serves you well. But right now, in this particular season of your life, that relentless need for answers is creating more turbulence than clarity. Because some of the questions you are sitting with right now do not have answers yet. Not because you are not smart enough to find them. Not because you are not looking hard enough. But because the answers genuinely do not exist in this moment. They are still forming. They are still being shaped by experiences you have not had yet, by conversations that have not happened yet, by growth that is still underway inside you. And trying to force an answer before it is ready is like trying to pull a flower out of the ground to make it bloom faster. All you do is destroy the thing you are trying to create. This week, I want you to practice sitting with open questions. I want you to get comfortable with the phrase I do not know yet and let that be a complete sentence. Not I do not know yet and that terrifies me. Not I do not know yet and I need to figure it out immediately. Just, I do not know yet. Period. There is an incredible amount of freedom in that acceptance. When you stop demanding that life give you answers on your timeline, you create space for the right answers to arrive in their own time. And they always do. Think about your own history. Think about the times you were desperate for clarity and it felt like it would never come. And then one day, sometimes when you least expected it, something shifted. A conversation happened. A realization landed. A door opened. And suddenly everything made sense. That is how life works. The answers come when you are ready for them, not when you demand them. And the more you fight the waiting, the longer it takes. So this week, let yourself wait. Let yourself not know. Let yourself sit in the beautiful discomfort of uncertainty and trust that clarity is already on its way to you. It is. You just cannot see it from where you are standing right now. But it is coming. And when it arrives, you will understand exactly why it could not have come any sooner. There is a kind of strength in saying I do not have all the answers that most people never discover. It is the strength of someone who has stopped pretending and started living honestly. An honest living, even when it is uncomfortable, is always more peaceful than the exhausting performance of having it all figured out. Let the questions breathe this week. They will take you somewhere beautiful if you let them. Tip 6. Create one small ritual that belongs only to you. In all the noise of your daily life, you have lost something essential. You have lost the thread of connection to yourself. You have been so busy responding to the world around you, meeting demands, fulfilling obligations, showing up for everyone else, that you have forgotten what it feels like to show up for yourself in a way that has nothing to do with productivity or purpose or other people. You need a ritual, not a complicated one, not something that requires equipment or money or large blocks of time. Just one small, repeatable act that is yours alone. Something that signals to your nervous system that you are safe, that you are present, that you matter outside of what you do for others. This could be as simple as making a cup of tea every morning and drinking it slowly without checking your phone. It could be stepping outside for 3 minutes at the same time each day and looking at the sky. It could be writing 3 sentences in a notebook before bed. Not a journal, not a diary, just 3 sentences about what you noticed that day. The specifics do not matter nearly as much as the consistency. What matters is that you do it every day this week. What matters is that when you do it, you are fully present in it. Not rushing through it to get to the next thing. Not doing it while simultaneously thinking about something else. Just being there, in that one small moment with yourself. Here is why this works, especially for Gemini energy. Your mind is constantly branching outward. It is always reaching for the next thought, the next idea, the next connection. That is beautiful. But it also means that you rarely land anywhere long enough to feel grounded. A daily ritual gives your mind a landing place. It gives your nervous system a predictable pattern that says, here is where we come back to center. And over time, that landing place becomes an anchor. It becomes the one thing in your day that does not change, that does not demand anything from you, that simply holds you. You need that this week more than you realize. You need something steady in the middle of everything that feels uncertain. So choose your ritual today. Keep it simple, keep it small, and commit to it for the next 7 days. You will be amazed at how much peace can come from something so seemingly insignificant. The smallest anchors hold the largest ships. Remember that. And remember too that this ritual is not about fixing yourself. You are not broken. This is about honoring yourself. It is about creating a space in your day where you are not performing, not producing, not proving anything to anyone. A space where you are simply you, whole and quiet and present. That version of you has been waiting to be acknowledged. Give it a home this week, even a small one. It will be enough. Tip 7. Speak less and listen to what the silence tells you. I know this one might feel counterintuitive. You are Gemini. Communication is your domain. Words are your tools, your art, your way of making sense of the world. And I am not asking you to stop talking or to suppress your natural desire to express yourself. What I am asking is more nuanced than that. This week, I want you to notice the moments when you speak to fill a silence rather than to say something meaningful. I want you to catch yourself in those moments when words come out of your mouth, not because you have something to share, but because the quiet makes you uncomfortable. Because for many of you, silence feels dangerous. Silence feels like a void that needs to be filled. And the reason it feels that way is because silence forces you to be alone with your own thoughts. And right now, your own thoughts are not a particularly comfortable place to be. But here is the secret that this week wants to teach you. The silence is not empty. It is full. It is full of information that your busy, word-filled days keep drowning out. There are things your intuition has been trying to tell you that you cannot hear over the noise of your own commentary. There are insights waiting just beneath the surface of your awareness that need quiet to rise. And there are answers to questions you have been asking that can only come through in the spaces between words. This week, experiment with pausing before you speak. Not every time, not in every situation, but in the moments that matter. Give yourself a beat of silence before you respond. Let the quiet sit there for just a moment longer than feels comfortable, and pay attention to what comes up in that space. Sometimes it will be nothing. Sometimes it will be a physical sensation, a tightness or a softness that tells you something your words never could. Sometimes it will be a sudden clarity about a situation you have been puzzling over for weeks. The silence speaks, but it speaks in a different language than you are used to. It speaks in feelings, in sensations, in knowings that bypass the rational mind entirely. And as a Gemini, learning to hear that language is one of the most powerful things you can do for your mental peace. Because when you can receive information from both your mind and your silence, you have access to a kind of wisdom that most people never touch. You become both the thinker and the feeler, the speaker and the listener, the question and the answer. That is your potential this week. Do not waste it by filling every quiet moment with noise. Let some moments be unfilled. Let some spaces remain open. And notice how those open spaces become doorways to a deeper understanding of yourself and the life you are building. The greatest communicators in history were not the ones who spoke the most. They were the ones who knew when to stop speaking and let the truth settle into the room on its own. You have that capacity this week. Use it. Tip 8. Forgive yourself for the version of you that did not know better. There is a weight you have been carrying that has nothing to do with your current circumstances. It is older than that. It lives deeper than that. And it has to do with a version of you that made choices you now regret, that handled situations in ways you are now ashamed of, that failed to show up in moments when showing up really mattered. You know exactly what I am talking about. There are specific memories that come to mind right now, and when they do, you feel a wave of something heavy move through your body. That heaviness is unforgiving guilt, and it is one of the biggest obstacles standing between you and the peace of mind you are seeking this week. Here is what I need you to understand, and I need you to understand this not just intellectually but in your bones. The person who made those choices was not the person you are today. They shared your name. They lived in your body. But they did not have access to the wisdom, the experience, the perspective, the emotional maturity that you have right now. They were working with a different set of tools. And they did what they could with what they had. Would you look at a child who made a mistake while learning to walk and hold it against them for the rest of their lives? Would you look at someone who was just beginning to learn how to cook and condemn them for burning a meal? Of course not, because you understand that mistakes are part of learning. You understand that failure is not a character flaw. It is a necessary step on the path to getting it right. But for some reason, when it comes to your own past, you refuse to extend that same grace. You hold yourself to a standard of perfection that you would never impose on anyone else. And the cruelty of that double standard is quietly destroying your peace. This week, I am asking you to begin the process of forgiving yourself. Not all at once. Not completely. Just begin. Start by acknowledging that the version of you who made those choices was doing their best in a situation they were not prepared for. Start by recognizing that the shame you feel is evidence of growth, not evidence of failure, because you can only feel ashamed of past behavior when you have evolved beyond it. The fact that you cringe at certain memories means you are no longer the person who would make those choices. And that is something to celebrate, not something to punish yourself for. Let it go this week. Not because what happened does not matter, but because you matter more than the mistakes you have made. And holding on to this guilt is not protecting anyone. It is only hurting you. Release it, breathe, and step into the version of yourself that is waiting on the other side of forgiveness. Some people watch, others transform. If you want to be in the second group, the 21-day guide in the pinned comment gives you a clear step-by-step process aligned with your sign. This isn't about waiting, it's about moving. Tip 9. Trust the timing of what is unfolding in your life right now. I know this is hard. I know you look around and it seems like everything is taking too long. The things you want feel distant. The progress you expected has not materialized. The breakthroughs you were promised by the universe or by your own optimism seem perpetually just around the corner. Always close but never quite here. And that gap between where you are and where you want to be is the source of so much of your restlessness this week. But I want to offer you a different way of looking at it. What if the timing is not wrong? What if everything is arriving exactly when it is supposed to? What if the delay you are experiencing is not a punishment or a sign that you are on the wrong path, but rather a form of protection? Because sometimes life holds things back from us not because we do not deserve them, but because we are not yet ready to hold them. Sometimes the delay is the preparation. Sometimes the waiting is the work. And sometimes the thing we want so desperately would actually overwhelm us if it arrived right now, in this moment, before we have finished building the internal foundation to support it. Think about the times in your life when you got exactly what you wanted at exactly the wrong time. Think about the relationships that came before you were ready for them. Think about the opportunities that arrived before you had the skills or the confidence or the emotional stability to make the most of them. Those experiences taught you something important. That timing matters more than we want to admit. And right now, the timing is asking you to be patient, not passive. There is a difference. Patience is active. Patience is continuing to show up, continuing to do the work, continuing to move forward, while simultaneously releasing your grip on when the results will appear. Passivity is giving up. Patience is trusting. This week, choose trust. Choose to believe that the life you are building is coming together in ways you cannot see from your current vantage point. Choose to believe that every day of waiting is adding something essential to the foundation. Choose to believe that when the right moment arrives, and it will, you will be so grateful that it did not come sooner. Because you will be ready, truly, deeply, completely ready, and the readiness will make all the difference. The waiting is not wasted time. The waiting is part of the gift. Even when it does not feel like it, especially when it does not feel like it, the timing is working in your favor. Trust that this week. Let it carry you. And if you need proof, look behind you. Look at everything that has already arrived in your life after a period of waiting. Look at the relationships that came after loneliness. Look at the clarity that came after confusion. Look at the strength that came after struggle. None of those things arrived on your schedule. They arrived on theirs. And they were right on time. This week will be no different. What is meant for you is making its way toward you right now, quietly, steadily, with a certainty that does not need your permission or your understanding. All it needs is your trust. Tip 10. Choose peace over being right. This is perhaps the most important thing I will say to you today, so please take it in slowly. There are situations in your life right now where you know you are right. You know it in your bones. You can see the truth clearly. You can articulate it perfectly. And the other person, whether it is a family member, a friend, a colleague, someone you care about, simply does not see it. And that gap between your clarity and their blindness is driving you slowly out of your mind. You want to explain it one more time. You want to lay out the logic, present the evidence, walk them through the reasoning step by step until they finally see what you see. And maybe you have already done this multiple times, and it has not worked, and you are frustrated, and you are exhausted, and you cannot understand why something so obvious to you is so invisible to them. Here is the truth that your brilliant Gemini mind does not want to accept. Some people are not ready to see what you see. And no amount of eloquence, no amount of patience, no amount of perfectly constructed arguments will change that. They will see it when they are ready, or they will not see it at all. And either way, it is not your job to force their vision. What is your job is to protect your own peace. And right now, the need to be right is costing you that peace. Every conversation where you try to convince someone who is not ready to be convinced leaves you drained. Every debate that goes in circles steals energy from the things that actually matter in your life. Every moment you spend crafting the perfect argument in your head is a moment you are not spending on your own healing, your own growth, your own joy. This week, I want you to make a radical choice. I want you to choose peace. Not because the other person is right. They might not be. Not because your perspective does not matter. It absolutely does. But because your inner calm is worth more than winning an argument that will not change anything anyway. Let them think what they think. Let them believe what they believe. Let them walk their path and learn their lessons at their own pace. And you walk your path. You learn your lessons. You invest your energy in the things that fill you up instead of the things that drain you dry. Being right is satisfying for a moment. Being at peace is satisfying for a lifetime. Choose wisely this week. Choose the option that serves your future, not just your ego. Choose the option that lets you sleep at night with a quiet mind and a full heart. Choose peace. It is always, always, always the better option. And know this, choosing peace does not mean you are weak. It means you are wise enough to know where your energy belongs and brave enough to redirect it there. That is not weakness. That is the highest form of self-respect. And it is available to you right now, in this very moment, if you are willing to reach for it. Reach for it this week. Hold it close. And let everything that does not serve your calm fall gently away. This week has given you something rare and precious. A chance to start again. Not from scratch. Not from the beginning. But from right here, right now, with everything you have learned and everything you have survived woven into the fabric of who you are becoming. You came into this message with a cluttered mind and a heavy heart. And if you have stayed with me through every word, something has already started to shift inside you. Maybe you cannot name it yet. Maybe it is just a subtle softening around the edges of your thoughts. Maybe it is a tiny exhale that you did not realize you were holding. But it is there. And it is real. And it is yours. The 10 things we walk through together today are not just ideas. They are invitations. Invitations to live differently this week. Invitations to choose your own peace over the chaos that the world keeps trying to hand you. You do not have to accept chaos just because it is familiar. You do not have to live in a state of mental overdrive just because your mind is capable of running that fast. Capability and necessity are not the same thing. You are capable of carrying enormous weight. That does not mean you should. You are capable of thinking about 100 things at once. That does not mean you must. This week, give yourself permission to be still. Give yourself permission to not have all the answers. Give yourself permission to feel your feelings without judging them, to rest without earning it, to exist without producing. You are not a machine. You are not a project. You are a living, breathing, evolving being who deserves the same compassion and patience that you so freely give to everyone else in your life. Turn that compassion inward this week. Turn that patience toward yourself. And watch what happens when you stop fighting your own nature and start working with it instead. The calm you have been searching for is not somewhere out there waiting to be found. It is already inside you, buried beneath layers of overthinking and overgiving and overperforming. All you have to do is stop piling more on top and let it rise to the surface. It will. It always does. Trust yourself this week. Trust your timing. Trust the process. And above all, trust that you are exactly where you need to be, even when it does not feel like it. Especially when it does not feel like it. The peace is already yours. Claim it. You have earned it not through what you have done but through what you have survived, what you have endured, what you have kept going through even when every part of you wanted to stop. That resilience is not something to take for granted. It is something to honor. And the best way to honor it is to finally give yourself the calm that your resilience has been fighting for all along. This is your week. This is your moment. And everything that comes next starts with the decision you make right now. You have two options after this video. Close it and hope things shift, or decide that the next 21 days will be different. If you choose the second, the structured 21-day transformation aligned with your sign is waiting in the pinned comment. The energy is already moving, the only question is whether you are.